Hey guys, welcome. We are canning today, and I'm just going to do a quick video while we are doing it. We are canning tomatoes today. I'm not doing marinara, I'm not doing salsa, I'm not doing any of that, because before you do any of that, you have to prep your tomatoes. There's several ways to actually prep your tomatoes prior to canning. And the first thing I want to tell you is if you are new to canning, go get this book. It's the Blue Bowl canning book. You can get it at Kroger, you can get it at Walmart, you can get it at Lowe's. They're about $7 or $8, and you know, I was around folks that were canned all the time as a kid. When I was a kid, my grandmother still canned some. My papa did. My great-grandmother, my great-great-grandmother, and I never participated. I have a memory of it. I knew when they were doing it, or I was playing and they were canning. But I never did it with them. So when I became an adult and I decided to learn, how did I learn? By this book right here. And once you get involved with a book and you start and do something, start with something easy such as tomatoes or maybe strawberry jam or pickles. Once you start, you get the hang of it. So I'm not necessarily teaching canning necessarily right yet. There's a couple of phases. So phase one for me today is, of course, preparing my tomatoes. Now, I don't know exactly how many quarts. I'm doing mine in quarts today. When I get into big bulk items that work for me, such as green beans, corn, tomatoes, and such, and I use a lot of that in my pantry, I prefer to use the quarts. And some of my friends will tell you the same thing because you don't waste as many lids. Plus, if you think about when you make marinara or you think about using tomatoes in recipes, you're probably going to use about a quart size, depending on what you're making. So, nonetheless, let me show you a couple of quick ways that folks actually prepare their tomatoes for canning. First thing you're going to do, or at least I do, is I want to get the skin off the tomato, okay? So we have gotten in a bunch of tomatoes. We have a ton more outside. So we're trying to process a first batch. I'm trying to process about 12 to 18 quarts of just tomatoes packed in their own sauce with a little bit of or own juice with a little bit of salt and lemon. I'm not doing anything else. This is my ultimate goal today. So what do I need to do? I need to get the skin off of the tomatoes. Now there's one or two ways that I prepare the tomato, and a lot of you may too also. So some folks like to can tomatoes as a whole entity. Well, okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your stem off. Of course, you're going to make sure your tomato's clean. You take your tomato, take my smaller one here, and you're going to put it in hot water. Now, some folks use baskets. I don't, simply because I'm finding that with my own stock of tomatoes, using all different kinds of tomatoes, that some of them have blemishes, some need to be cut differently. I just get about 10 going at a time, but I'm not going to do that just yet. So what you're going to do, if you want to do the whole tomato, you're going to just put it in hot boiling water for 30 seconds to a minute, let it heat up, and what I normally do is I do, say, 4 to 6 at a time, okay? And that's how I get going, but just for the sake of the video, to show you what happens, I'm just going to do one. And this is a smaller tomato. A lot of times when you see those beautiful cans or jars of tomatoes, those whole tomatoes in there, the smaller ones, this is probably what you would see. So we have it in there, it's rolling around, this is rolling, boiling water. So put it in there, get it good and hot, you're going to take it out. Now I've already started a little bit, so if you see some in here, then you're going to put it in cold ice water in the pan. I've got a big pan in here. This is actually my indoor water bath. These I've already boiled these, as you can see, and I've put them over, I'm peeling, and you just peel the skin right off. That's how you get the skin off of the tomato. So you literally, the heat allows it to wrinkle and start to peel away from the tomato, and then you're going to kind of shock it, I guess you could say, in the cold water, and that's going to be, that would be your whole tomato. Now what I do, if I have a tomato like this, I don't want all that. So what I do is this is what I'm saying, for me, sometimes it's a per tomato type of deal. I cut away bad, and if I'm cutting that tomato already, I take a little bit of that core right on out, And then I kind of score, I guess you could say. Make an X design on the tomato. And then, I don't want to burn myself. This is hot. And then I put it in there. So just to give you an idea, the pre-prep of the tomatoes and the different ways that you can do them, and you may have another way that you do them. Like I said, a lot of people do them in baskets. I've gotten so used to just in a rhythm of my own that I don't use a basket. Because like I said, I may just have so many, and my husband helps, so, however you want to do it. But that's the general 2 ways that you see people prepping their tomatoes prior to canning. So this is kind of like a canning tomatoes video 1. And hopefully on the next video, if we can get it going outside, we will show you actually how we can or how I prep the jars. We're going to be canning outside in the major canner, not in the small canner inside. So I hope this helps, gives you a brief idea, and we're going to keep going. Y'all have a good day.